Right now at 6, hundreds of teachers hit the picket lines in the East Bay.
When we fight, we win!
Why the teachers say they're striking for the first time in the district's history.
Our students deserve stability.
Plus, San Francisco's new police chief opening his tenure with a message of hope.
I truly believe we are entering a golden era in San Francisco.
A look at his rise to the top of the force. And later, the site of the Grateful Dead's original show, finally commemorated in San Jose.
The long, strange trip, right, Mark?
How two rock historians solved the 60-year-old mystery.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us at 6. We begin with the first teacher strike in a major East Bay school district. Roughly 1,500 educators are striking in the West Contra Costa Unified School District. That district services more than 28,000 students across 5 cities. Both sides return to the bargaining table this afternoon. Our Brad Hamilton looks at the sticking points and the impact on students caught in the middle.
Today, over 1,000 teachers at West Contra Costa officially went on strike. And even though the entire district remains open, many of the people that run those classrooms say they're not coming back until their demands are met.
When we fight, we win!
They gathered, they chanted, they cheered. Today, around 1,500 educators from the West Contra Costa Unified School District turned out for day one of a strike, demanding better pay, better health benefits, and more support to boost teacher retention.
Teacher at Ford Elementary.
Francisco Ortiz is the president of the United Teachers of Richmond, which represents staff across all 56 district sites. He says dozens of classrooms right now in the district lack a permanent teacher.
We have 70 vacancies in our district, which is 9 times more than what the average district in Contra Costa County has, and our students deserve stability.
In the 2023-24 school year, the base starting salary for a teacher in West Contra Costa Unified was around $58,000 a year. The union rejected the latest offer of a 3% raise. The district says it's a budget deficit that prevents it from going any higher. But Ortiz says that contract negotiations had stalled until today's strike.
It sent a message so strong that the district has requested to have a meeting today at 4 p.m.
But the superintendent sent out a statement denying that they had stopped responding to the union, adding, quote, "We are serious about getting this matter resolved. We acknowledge that our employees deserve salary and benefit increases, and we want a resolution, but this cannot happen while we're on strike and not at the negotiation table." Stuck in the middle are people like Erica King. She's a special education teacher whose son is a 4th grade student in the district.
It's really taking a toll on us. He's missing a day of education, and we got to put food on the table at home. So, I'm catching the loss in both ways.
Her choice this morning: go to work or join the picket line. She picked the latter, not for herself, she says, but for her son.
That's number one, because I want him to do something different, bigger, and be bigger. So we have to settle for what we have to settle for here.
All 56 schools remained open today, but it's unclear how many students actually showed up. The city of Richmond opened several community centers for free extended child care services, and Troy Porter, a recreation supervisor, says his site filled up fast.
Obviously, some families still feel comfortable sending their children to the schools, but we're just adding an alternative with safe care, with people they already know and trust here at the community centers.
As for where negotiations stand, a late afternoon meeting between the union and the district could signal some movement. But Ortiz says that the strike continues until their demands are met.
It's really up to the bargaining team to ensure that we're coming into that meeting with the question, will this proposal bring stability to our students?
The union also says they're demanding more support for their special education programs, as well as their international teachers working under H-1B visas. Also at the strike today were members of the Teamsters Union who represent certain staff members also at the district.
Meanwhile, a contract dispute at the San Francisco Unified School District could lead to a strike. Teachers took the procedural step of voting to authorize a strike if there is no deal with the district soon. Yesterday's vote was the first of two that could lead to an actual walkout. We reached out to the district for a response, and we are waiting to hear back. After more than 6 months of searching, San Francisco officially has a new chief of police. Derek Liu was introduced at City Hall today, and our Lauren Toms looks at the decades of service in his hometown and his priorities for the department.
I truly believe we are entering a golden era in San Francisco.
After a nationwide search, Mayor Daniel Lurie has selected Deputy Police Chief Derek Liu to lead the department. He will succeed former Chief Bill Scott, who led the department since 2017.
It is truly the honor of a lifetime, and I'm thrilled to lead a department that is the gold standard in policing.
A San Francisco native, Liu says growing up, he never imagined a career in law enforcement. After a brief stint in finance, he returned home to serve the community that shaped him. He rose the ranks from an officer at Bayview and Mission stations to sergeant at Central Station to captain of Ingleside. And just months ago, he was tapped to lead the city's Drug Market Coordination Center, a multi-agency effort aimed at disrupting the fentanyl crisis.
Addressing the drug crisis and improving conditions on our streets is not up for debate. We will continue this work. We will build on our progress, and we will ensure our streets are clean and safe for everyone.
He's stepping into the role at a critical moment for the force, which remains 500 officers short. He tells us recruitment will define the early months of his tenure.
I would say it's right near the top, if not the top, because our officers right now, they're out there every single day. We're asking a lot of them, having to work mandatory overtime, coming in on days when they're normally off. So getting them some relief is at top of mind.
That shortage has been felt across the city, including in Bernal Heights, where a woman was killed by a driver just 2 months ago. Resident Alfredo Fletes says a fully staffed force could bring the kind of traffic enforcement his neighborhood has been hoping for.
I really would like to see the new police chief take pedestrian safety really seriously. For me, I feel the most unsafe when there's a car that's speeding by my block or this main Cortland corridor. So I'd love to see more foot police taking it seriously.
Mayor Lurie says Liu's ties to the city and his 2 decades within the department made him the clear choice.
And I am thrilled. He was born and raised here in San Francisco. He's overseen some of the most complex operations. He's been overseeing our drug market operations, and I've seen him in action since I took office, and he is the next generation leader for the department. He's the leader that this city needs and deserves.
And with citywide crime down 25% from last year, Liu's tasked with restoring public trust, visibility, and momentum inside the ranks.
I've served the SFPD for over 2 decades, and I wouldn't want to work anywhere else. A place where our officers are proud to work, and ultimately to ensure San Francisco is the safest city in America.
Liu will replace interim Chief Paul Yep. He is set to officially take over the role on December 22nd. All right, on to some developing news out of San Francisco. A social worker is in critical condition after being stabbed by a patient at Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital. It started when a patient made threats, including to a doctor in the hospital's HIV clinic. The sheriff's department says they sent a deputy who then heard a disturbance in the hallway and found the patient stabbing the social worker with a 5-inch kitchen knife in the neck and shoulders. The deputy intervened and restrained the suspect.
Medical staff on site immediately performed life-saving measures, including CPR. The victim was transported to the operating room in critical condition and continues to receive care.
The sheriff says the suspect has since been taken into custody. Officials say there is no ongoing threat to the public. We will have more information on this as it develops. We're learning more about the mother and child killed in a fiery crash on Highway 87 in San Jose. A crowdfunding site identified the victims in Tuesday's crash as Ivana Balistreri and her baby daughter, Liliana. Her loved ones said Ivana was a pure spirit who loved those around her with all her heart, and that Liliana brought so much joy in her short time here. The two were in a Lexus that was involved in the crash with the 2 Teslas. Their families asking for anyone that has video or information to come forward as the investigation into the crash continues. San Jose murder suspect has been captured after a 4-year multinational manhunt. So this afternoon, police announced that Utasanoni Joseph Pasi was extradited to the U.S. after authorities found him hiding in Mexico. Pasi is accused of killing a man during a parking spot dispute in 2021. Officers say he shot Marco Antonio Santos in front of his family and then immediately fled the country. 2 weeks ago, U.S. and Mexican authorities tracked him down in Rosarito, Mexico, and on Tuesday, he was returned to the U.S. Pasi is now in jail on suspicion of murder. Still ahead here at 6, millions of people warned to take cover today from a major earthquake that never happened. What officials are saying about the faulty shake alert. Plus, we'll meet some rock and roll historians who helped solve a 60-year-old mystery surrounding the origins of the Grateful Dead.
I see 38, and I called Mark, O-C-R-A-P, right? And then the journey began.
And later, we'll meet some Silicon Valley middle schoolers who built their own petting zoo, or at least the robotic creatures that inhabit it. Well, people across the Bay Area got a shake alert this morning, warning them of a 5.9 magnitude earthquake in Nevada, except that quake never happened. Was that a fake shake? USGS says that false alarm went out after multiple sensors wrongly detected a large earthquake near Carson City. The shake alert team led with the USGS tells us, if that earthquake had really been real, the shaking would have been felt right here in the Bay Area. Officials are still trying to figure out what caused this false alarm.
This particular occurrence is something that we haven't seen before. And certainly we're going to learn from it. We don't want this to happen again. That's going to take some time to figure out.
Just an early alarm clock. Shake Alert has issued 170 alerts for real earthquakes. This is the first time it's issued an early warning for a quake that didn't happen. Right now, San Jose is celebrating 60 years of the Grateful Dead with a commemoration ceremony at the place where it all began. So take a look. We have live pictures. It may look like City Hall now, but this is actually the site of the band's first concert. Tonight, San Jose is honoring this historic location with a special marker. Just minutes ago, city leaders unveiled a bronze plaque with the band's logo and the words Grateful Dead Historic Site.
And let's unveil.
It will sit above the footprint of the original house that hosted the momentous concert. Earlier this evening, the daughter of Jerry Garcia reflected on the history of the site and the band's legacy.
I was raised observing the scene and have now seen it become a historical event. You know, this has now become like a renaissance. These, the 60s changed the world, and what was started here in the Bay Area continues to lead the world.
So tracking down the spot of that original show was no easy task. Arlen Ramirez introduces us to the duo who cracked the case.
It's all part of the great mystery.
It's the long, strange trip, right, Mark?
Yeah,
Dan Orloff and Mark Purdy are rock fans and South Bay rock historians, and they've spent 2 decades trying to solve a 60-year-old mystery. Where in San Jose did one of rock's greatest bands have their first ever performance as the Grateful Dead? They thought they had it pinpointed here where 5th Street now dead ends at San Jose City Hall.
which would be right over there behind these walls and actually on the side of the current San Jose City Council chambers.
It was December 4th, 1965. The group had just changed their name from the Warlocks to the Grateful Dead, and a friend, counterculture figure Ken Kesey, invited them to play at a house party where he was holding one of his infamous psychedelic acid tests. Purdy, a former sports columnist for the Mercury News, interviewed people who said they were there, and it was inside this large Victorian house.
And for years, that was the accepted thing.
The house once stood at 43 South 5th Street. It was moved in the early 2000s to St. John Street to make way for City Hall. But then a rock relic emerged that turned the long-held story upside down. It's an original crayon poster for the acid test party, and this year it sold at auction for $37,500. The poster listed the party location as 38 South 5th Street. That house was damaged by fire, but it was saved and also moved a few blocks away to 4th Street. For Dan and Mark, it's been a wild ride.
I caught it first because of a news feed.
Yeah.
And I was like really happy. Oh my God, after 20 years, we're going to see the poster that commemorated 43 South 5th as the acid test.
This is actual physical evidence.
8 seconds later, I see 38, and I called Mark, oh, CRAP, right? And then the journey began.
Yeah.
Mark went back to the drawing board and compared old city aerial photos with modern-day maps to see where 38 would have stood. And he literally marched off the plot lines to verify, to his relief, that the new location was still within the City Hall Plaza.
I'm still unraveling the mystery of why the poster says that, and everyone seems to say here, including somebody I've interviewed who was actually at the party.
But what could possibly account for the two conflicting locations?
I want to be kind in how I say this. This was 60 years ago, and people were taking LSD.
The Black is not even the only new honor the Grateful Dead received today. This morning, Guinness World Records announced the band has officially broken the all-time record for most top 40 albums. Last month, the band released Dave's Picks Volume 56. It is a compilation of songs from two 1981 live performances at Rainbow Theatre in London, England, and it debuted at number 25 on the charts, making the band's 66th top 40 album.
A different kind of haze on the horizon today as the air quality already took a step backward and temperatures did as well. After mid to upper 60s yesterday, the only spots in the 60s were closer to the coast. Half Moon Bay made it to 64. Everybody else was in the 50s, and the fog is going to be the dominant feature, especially for inland parts of the Bay Area with the Thule fog spreading in. Tracking that coming up in the First Alert forecast.
Let's get in the festive spirit. So a live look at the Dublin City Centre this evening, where they're celebrating the annual holiday tree lighting. The event includes performances from local school choirs, letters to Santa, and also hot cocoa and cookies for all. The celebration continues until 8 o'clock tonight, and there is a train. Perfect timing. Look at that. Okay, and we'll wait for that tree to be lit. We'll hopefully show it to you now or at 7 o'clock. All right, thanks much.
Or at 8, or at 9,
or
11.
8 or 9. We're gonna show you that lit tree. Speaking of trees, I just learned that Paul Hagen does not have just one Christmas tree in his house. He has 4. Very cool.
We spent a lot of time doing that this
That's
weekend.
cute.
Yeah,
All right.
there's a lot. The wife is responsible for
Yes.
99.999%.
Yes,
of
she
that.
is, and I know
Yes,
that for
so
a fact. But
credit where
cool.
it is due.
Can't wait for your holiday
But
party,
it's,
Paul.
It's lit up. Keep waiting. Let's take a look at the big picture pattern here. What we're waiting on is rain, because it's been 2 weeks since we've seen measurable rainfall in the Bay Area. November 20th was 2 weeks ago today. The next chance of rain, let's take a look at Futurecast for the next 2 weeks. And it is pretty blank for us. All the rain being directed up to our north, into the Pacific Northwest. Occasionally, a few showers drift into far northern California, but this is just a stuck weather pattern. Maybe by the third weekend in December, we could see a decent chance of showers making its way into the Bay Area. This is 2 weeks from Saturday, this version of Futurecast. Now, this is one version of one forecast model. There are others that we look at, and some of them are still desperately hoping to bring some shower chances towards the Bay Area by the end of next week and the following weekend, but it's lower than a 50-50 chance even in that time frame as we look to a week from Sunday, which would be the 14th. So we're talking about the next decent rain chance being at least 10 days away, potentially 14 days away. And this is still the time frame where we don't have much confidence in any kind of details, just looking for a pattern shift overall. When is the next decent chance of rain going to drift a little bit farther to the south along the west coast? Forget whether it's going to specifically hit the Bay Area. So when is it going to break out of the Pacific Northwest? We're going to have to wait for a little while for air quality to improve. As long as we're in this dry, stagnant pattern, the air quality isn't going to be great. Today, it was in the moderate to even unhealthy for sensitive groups range. These are the unofficial sensors, not the ones sanctioned by the EPA, but still they show a dramatic decrease in air quality compared to yesterday. And the forecast is for moderate air quality across the board tomorrow. Would not be surprised at all if we have some spare the air alerts over the course of the next several days. Temperatures did back down today. They're backing down this evening, a mix of upper 40s and low 50s across the Bay Area right now. Down to 45 degrees already in Livermore because your high temperature was only 49 degrees. Temperatures interior valleys of the East Bay are going to be confined to the 50s. So plenty of fog in the morning and then hazy at best, sunshine during the afternoon. Our adoptable dog of the day is Piper from the East County Animal Shelter. I don't think Piper's going to last very long. I'll put up a link to her adoptable information right after this weathercast, but act fast because I think that cute face is going to be gone in a hurry. They have other adoptable pups as well, by the way. Let's take a look at the fog as we head through the rest of tonight, spreading in from the Central Valley. Some of it at the coast isn't going to be a very big factor. There's that fog moving in through the Delta, making its way into the inland valleys of the East Bay and the North Bay. I think it's going to be more of a factor for the North Bay over the course of the next several days and progressively more and more and more of a factor. Temperatures are going to be cold to start the day in the upper 30s and low 40s, and then we steadily do warm up. A slower warm-up where that fog is hanging on. So temperatures east of the Oakland Hills, mostly in the mid-upper 50s, maybe around 60 degrees. Otherwise, mostly low 60s. 63 degrees in San Jose is a few degrees above average. Low 60s around the Bay, mostly low 60s at the coast. And a mix of 50s and 60s for the North Bay, again, just depending on exactly how long the fog hangs on in any particular spot. 7-day forecast, breaking it up into just 2 microclimates. We'll just say inland in the East Bay, where the fog is going to be more of a factor tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Eventually, the North Bay valleys, you're going to have the same forecast as this, but we head into the second half of the weekend and next week. The temperatures stuck in the 50s and the fog and haze will be really tough to shake. More sunshine breaking through around the Bay, along the coast, and in the Santa Clara Valley, and that's going to push your temperatures into the upper 50s and low 60s, which is about where we're supposed to be here in early December. Jules?
All right, Paul, thanks so much. When we come back, we'll take you inside a petting zoo of sorts where the animals were all built by some South Bay students. That was in Dublin, still singing, waiting for that tree to be lit. But check this out. An all-girls school in Palo Alto hosted a high-tech petting zoo. So the middle school students at Castilleja designed and built robots that could interact with their classmates. Oh boy. You can see they got creative with colorful designs and fun costumes. There was a dragon that could flap its wings, a cookie monster that ate cookies and could talk, even a French baguette with a moving mustache. One student told us about her creation.
We get the task of having to use wheels and a distance sensor, and then we kind of get to pick, and we're directed in the general area of using of trying to make an animal type thing. Mine is a combination of a bunch of different animals.
So cute. The girls are mentored by students from the high school robotics team with the goal of encouraging young women to pursue STEM. CBS 7 News next. See you at 7.